o'clock. Yes, I know we're a little behind time, but I'll take it's my fault, okay? 13.8 degrees downtown, not even making 15 degrees right now. So much for my prediction of 18 degrees. I don't think it's going to make it, but we'll see. It's also Wednesday, middle of the week, 30th of July, and today, believe me, you're going to love the band I've got coming up, yes. But first of all, check this out. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and I've got to welcome along everybody that's joining us on all the medias right now. Thank you so much. Well, I tell you what, why not do this? Why not sub, thumb, bell? Bingo. Bell notifications when we have important people coming out of Texas, Houston, Texas, is that, believe me, I follow the Astros from Texas, so I love the baseball team over there. Engineered Society Project, and you're going to love it. You really, really are. I do. I really, really do. Sub, you know what to do with the sub, right? Yeah, subscribe. Become part of the family. We call it the noise here at Galaxy. We really do. Simply because, well, you know, you're not shy. You're pretty handy at telling us exactly who you like and what tracks, so thank you for that. And, well, you know what to do with the thummy thing. Get epileptic with us. Tell you what, let's kick into it straight away. Here's Engineered Society Project. You're right here at Galaxy. Who am I?
Right.
Oof. So that gives us a couple of minutes to get to know each other.
Right.
So,
Your song choice is interesting. Who Am I is one of our favorite songs. And what's interesting about that is there's a story behind it if you want us to tell it later or whatever. But I just think your song choices are interesting. I like them.
Okay, well, yeah. I can't take the credit for the choices, actually. It's a couple of guys in production. But Barbara is all of the credit there because, believe me, she chooses the music that we receive in the first place. You know what I mean? So
thank God for Barbara.
Yeah, believe me, she's a damn genius at what she does. Don't think we could get along without her, to be honest, but we're not going to tell her that. Well, you're listening.
I'm here.
You can forget that bit, okay? We'll edit that one out later. Dear, dear. We'll give you a copy of everything we do today, and we'll have it up on YouTube pretty much instantly after we finish this. But Barbara will also take a few pickies once we've finished this, put it together in a movie, and you'll get that. Have you guys ever been a cartoon before?
Once.
Yeah.
Once before. I think it was our first music video, Tim, is My TV. It's an animated music video.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to say you'll probably end up being a cartoon through this at some stage. Barbara likes to make fun of me as a cartoon. There was a very weird story with that as well, believe me. I was in a supermarket in a strange city, just getting some supplies. We'd been to a notary to go and get some papers signed. And I said to Barbara when I was in the car park, look, there's a supermarket there, I'll go and get some supplies for the wife for when we get home for dinner. And I'm standing in the checkout in line. There's a little old lady in front of me getting her cans and her peas and everything like that going through the checkout. But she's staring at me like, going, okay, it's getting a little uncomfortable now. This is going on for about 10 minutes. And I just, you know how you say hello and you smile and you nod and you try to be friendly. And I've done all of that. And I just went, is there a problem? And she looked at me and she goes, you look nothing like your cartoon. And I went,
No.
Pardon? I mean, this is a random city in a random shop in a random aisle, right? And this little, pardon? She goes, oh yeah, I know who you are. My niece watches and follows you all the time, so I know the cartoon. And you look nothing like your cartoon. It's like, Mike, wait until Barbara hears about that one. We've got about a minute to go, so very, very happy to have you guys on board. I really, really am. And we'll give a shout out to Paul Crosby as well, because he does such a great job. Okay, so about 30 seconds.
I'll be back in a minute. Okay. I'm gonna go switch next. I'll be back in a minute.
That you got to turn the mic on to make it work great. Come on. Today, joined live by the wonders of technology. Would you believe that? We're coming all the way out. I think it's Houston, Texas. I'm not sure. We're joined by Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project. Welcome, gentlemen. Nice to have you on board.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. It really, really is. Now, guys, we opened up the show with Who Am I? And believe me, I'm absolutely fascinated with this track. So I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't say, tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, this is a funny one, I have to tell you. We were in the studio and we were working on a song, and we were pressed for time because we record in just a suburb of Los Angeles, California. And the song we were working on, I mean, just to be honest, it wasn't going that well. And we had to put another track on the album, and we basically said, we're going to start over, and we're going to rewrite this song right here in the studio right now. And our lead singer, Chris, was like, well, we can't do this, you know. And I said, well, Chris, we're fixing to. So JoJo and Sean and I started working on the music, and Chris was a little frustrated. So he goes back to his hotel, and we finished the music that evening. He comes back the next day with this beautiful melody and the lyrics of Who Am I for this new song. And, you know, I basically said, well, Chris, we're going to have to piss you off more often because you did such a wonderful job. And to this day, it's one of my favorite songs we ever did. And it was literally done off the cuff.
Very, very cool. And, you know, I see and talk to artists every day, literally. And it's those ones that have the longevity. They seem to last forever compared to the ones that take, you know, a lot of anguish and months and months and months to put together. The ones that are really off the cuff, they seem to last. They seem to make a connection with the crowds, with your audience as of a whole. And I think that's why my production team has literally has chosen this one to kick off the show. I think they connect with it very, very much as well. So congratulations. And Sean, you're a drummer. And how long have you been drumming, sir?
Oh, since I was a kid.
Oh, a couple of years at least then.
That's a hell of a long time.
Since I was a kid, yeah, forever, for my entire life. Yeah, I was a kid beating on everything and driving everybody crazy, my body included.
Believe me, I know what it's like. I really, really do. And I've been a sort of a former roadie over the years, if you know what I mean. Also a front of house and also a studio engineer, about 40 years worth plus of touring around with some of the biggest bands in the world too, and working in some of the best studios around the world as well. And you just seem to be able to pick up somebody who's been doing this forever and a day. They're so comfortable with their work, and it shows. And believe me, as an engineer myself, I like to try and reverse engineer how other engineers work. You know what I mean? Get inside their mind, see where the layers all come out like a big onion, if you know what I mean. And I listen to every little bit of every song by every artist, literally. And I've got to say, Sean, I'm absolutely loving your work. I really, really am. Then there's Timothy. Tim,
yes, sir.
Guitar player extraordinaire. Of course, we're talking bass player extraordinaire as well. But this is the studio you're in right now, is your own home studio. Do you perfect everything there and then go and get it recorded in a mainstream studio, or are you perfecting it right there and getting it mastered right there?
No, we rehearse here, and we have a reasonable setup to rehearse. But I'm the worst engineer in the world, I must confess. And so we kind of get an idea of what we're doing, and we get on an airplane and fly out to LA, and we go in the studio, and we have an amazing team behind us that helps us with the recording, the production. And I have to give a shout out to Steve Ornest at Total Access Recording in Redondo Beach, and Win Davis. You know, Win's been in the business forever, and he's recorded just about everybody from Guns N' Roses, Dawkins, all the people that we think are really great. Tony Iommi, all these guys have made records with Win, Foreigner. And Win can just come in and you know, he's got a famous thing. Well, I think you can do it just one more time. And there we go, you know. So we go through all of that, and they've been such a blessing for us to work with. I am so honored because I have a great team of musicians, and Chris is a great singer, and we go in the studio and we have a pretty good time when we're on budget and on time, and we have a lot of great help, and we're always just very happy.
Now, guys, I'm really, really interested, but I do have a question from a young lady coming out of Palermo, Italy. Her name is Maria. She's asking, how did the name come around?
Okay. Since I'm the one responsible for this, and I'll tell you what, you know, we've all played in bands for years, and I was in the Middle East, actually. I was in Jerusalem, and I wanted to come up with a name of a band, right? And no matter what name, if it was one word, you'd just enter that into Google as a band, and you'd have 5 bands under that name. So I'm watching the news, and I'm seeing, you know, what's going on about what the government in the U.S. was wanting to do, as far as they were doing things like putting housing projects in affluent neighborhoods and things like that, and trying to, you know, basically they were engineering society. So I said, well, what the hell? It's an engineer society project. That's what everything is. And so that's how I came up with the name. And I have to tell you that the guys I was with at the time weren't very excited, not as much as me, but I've grown to be thankful that's been our name, and Sean and everybody that's come on board since then are stuck with it. And so far, we've only found one, thank God.
Fair enough, too. Believe me, I was talking to a guy the other day. He says, I'm struggling to find a name for a band. I says, well, you know, why not Murder Suspect 1, for instance? There's a new band coming out, Murder Suspect 1. Keep an eye out for them. About, 2 years away, but believe me, they're going to be good. I don't know how they got their name, but okay, they took it anyway, and it works. Murder Suspect 1. Who would have thunk? Well, I wouldn't have anyway. So, all around me, tell me about this. Believe me, we're working up the scale here, literally, and since we've been playing this, you've had 1,752 requests for it. What makes it so popular?
You know, I don't know. JoJo and I wrote All Around Me before Sean was even in the band. You know, after I got back from the Middle East and I met JoJo, we were looking for players, and we decided to make our Digital Soldiers record. So we go in the studio with Ripper Owens, who was in Judas Priest and some other bands, and Vinny Appice, who played in Black Sabbath and Dio and all these great bands. And we laid the tracks down to All Around Me, and I had the lyrics, and I was kind of halfway. You talking about embarrassing? I'm trying to sing this to Ripper Owens. You know, that's like painting a picture from Rembrandt. And but anyway, I was able to get it across. And what the song is about is, at the time, there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes you kind of get in a bubble where everybody around you has ulterior motives and one thing after another. And you know, I had a lot going on at that time, and it just kind of felt like, with the exception of a few choice people in my inner circle, everybody else was just out for blood. And that's how I wrote it. And you know, and it still holds true today. You know, my father said you typically count your friends on one hand. And so you just have to be careful, especially in this business. But I've got some great guys like Sean and Chris and JoJo who are just my brothers in crime here. So we're good.
Absolutely love it. You're right here at Galaxy, joined today by Tim and Sean, who's not saying a lot right now. Drummers, you know. Here's Engineered Society Project, All Around Me. How you feeling, guys? You okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
Sean, you said something. Hold on. What's going on? Is your mic working?
Oh yeah, it's working. Oh yeah, I went. It's covering the song before I came along. So he came up with the band name and he wrote that song before I came along. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just thought you were. I just thought you were being polite.
Oh, that's
No.
Very, very cool. Do you guys have a society for the prevention of the cruelty to animals over there?
We do.
You do? Is it like the RSPCA or something like that? The reason why I ask is in the news this morning here in New Zealand, our society or the SPCA are attacking our government right now. They're absolutely ripping into them about these round bales of hay. You know what farmers have, these big green things on the paddocks and stuff? Yeah, full. Yeah, apparently the RSPCA or the SPCA here in New Zealand think that animals aren't getting a square meal. Waiting for
There you go. That's good.
Look, it made it all the way over there. Look, I've even got.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Oh, gosh. We're
come a
only,
long way.
look, we're only 97 days by paddle boat from anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's good. Right on the line.
We really are. Coming up, Kamikaze in Love. I love this track. I really, really do. But I'm going to be honest with you. In the city, in a blink of an eye, I've actually added to my playlist in my car.
Thank you.
Doesn't happen often. I don't usually change my playlist. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
adding a couple in there means I'm pulling teeth to put it. But believe me, I'm loving both of those tracks. So we'll talk about that very shortly. But having said that, I will ask you at the end of this if there's anything new coming out, because we would love to be able to continue this relationship that we're building.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I am going to ask you for your permission to be able to play you in our new radio stations that we're building in India.
Yeah. No, we have a record that we don't have a release date. We typically try to release our records in September, but because Sony is our distribution company, they decide when it's coming out, so we don't really know. We've put in a request for a release, and we have a new album. So
Okay, Tim, I'm going to have to cut you out there because we'll go back to the desk.
good.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and of course today we're joined by Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project, coming out of, I think it's Houston, it is Houston, Texas, isn't it?
That's close enough. We're just a little north in a little town called Spring, but it's really just a suburb of Houston. So I'll just say Houston because everybody knows where Houston is.
Now you guys weren't anywhere near the floods, were you?
No, not really. The floods were probably 120, 30 miles west of us.
Right. Believe me, yeah.
Maybe 180. Yeah.
Those guys got a raw deal. Really, they did. Having said that, I hope you don't mind, but you see, I kind of follow the Astros, and they're a really, really cool team coming out of Houston, if you know what I mean. So I want to give those guys a shout out. I love the work you guys do. Really, really do. And I think it's time you guys took out the series this year, rather than somewhere like New York or, those guys. They can't play, even though they've got, Judge and all of those. Can't play. Judge can't play without black stuff under his eyes. That's what it is. Take away the black stuff, he's done. Having said that, guys, I've got to ask you, a young man by the name of Robert, coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina, He's asking, do you guys, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter or X? Are you a talker? But more importantly, do you respond?
John, go ahead.
We definitely respond. Any questions or if anybody wants to reach out and contact us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I believe. I'm not a big TikToker, but yeah, we're definitely on Facebook. And Tim, our band page on Facebook is, how would you say?
Engineered Society Rocks. We had an old Facebook page that we couldn't get control of for whatever. Facebook kind of screwed it up. But at the end of the day, we are, you can Google Engineered Society Project, and there'll be pages of stuff where you can get in touch with us and see stuff, and it's real easy to find us.
Now, a young lady called Beth, coming out of, all the way down in Dunedin in the South Island of New Zealand here, is asking, do you have a merch store? Can we buy caps, koozies and T-shirts? Where do we go?
To the internet. We have a store on our webpage, and yes, we would be more than happy. We've got some new shirts and new records coming out, and we'll be updating that store pretty quick here. And, we sell some merchandise that way. I think what the issue is on a lot of that is the shipping cost, because we don't get a lot for our merchandise, but God, to ship something to New Zealand, I can't even guess what it would cost, but we would be happy to do it. We'd love to send it there. Our plan is to have a worldwide following, and that's what we do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take you up on that. If you want to send me a T-shirt, and I'd be very, very honoured to be able to wear your brand while I do this, and believe me, I do it, and I don't know how it works, but for some reason, people seem to be watching these interviews, and they go online, get on the interwebby thing, before you know it, somebody's sold a guitar pick and got a cap and a koozie thrown in as well, you know what I mean? But however it works, for some reason, it just works, you know what I mean? So if you really want to send me one of your brand, guys, I'd be more than honoured to be able to wear it. I really, really would.
All we need is a size and address. Barbara can send her stuff, to me, her size, and we'll be glad to hook you guys up.
Yeah, Barbara's a little larger than I am for some reason, but believe me, I'll get her to send everything across. She's got bigger lungs than me. That's what it is. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, would very much love to be able to wear your brand. Kamikaze in Love. Now, this is a fantastic track, and believe me, I think the writing on behind this track is absolutely superb. I really, really do. So I think you better give me the skinny on this one. Why do I like this so much?
Go, Sean.
Is JoJo, I'm pretty sure that JoJo brought this main guitar part to the table, and we built it from there. And so I think we kind of, as a band together, we figure out the best way to develop songs, and we're constantly trying to make it better and figure out the different approaches, and we're trying different things, trying to stir the pot. So JoJo brought we all like the guitar riff, and I think we built it from the ground up right there.
That is fantastic, and believe me, absolutely love Kamikaze in Love right here at Galaxy.
Right on, mate. We're also on YouTube. So there's a YouTube channel, and there's tons of videos on there. And we're kind of beginning to build it. We're kind of just starting to figure out different ways to build just the YouTube channel alone. So the whole social media thing is, it's just amazing how things have changed and evolved, and how to actually build those pages. I don't know. It's kind of an art in itself.
It is, but it puts the power back in the hands of it needs to be in. You know what I mean? Back in the day, don't forget, there was record companies like RCA and, that would just control everything and just suck the living life out of you to be able to get it there. Today, honestly, I see so many bands that they work their own deal and they do so much better than what they've been doing through the old school record deals and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know whether you guys would be old enough to remember festival records and stuff like that, but believe me,
I'm old enough to remember. I'm old enough to remember when you got the record things in the jackets. In other words, you would get the magazine. You could pick your records or 8-track tapes.
Yep.
Capitol Records. Remember all those?
Yeah, I do. Shamefully, I do. In fact, 8-track records, 8-track tapes, we used to have those in our cars here in New Zealand, but when I worked in radio, we used to have just one cart. We call it a cart machine with about 3 or 4, and you throw 4 of them in there, and it would only have one song on it, but it's about the same size as the old 8-tracks. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what it was about 8-tracks because I only seem to get 7 on mine. I really did. By any chance, are you guys vegans?
No, but Chris is.
Okay, well, maybe I should ask Chris because I'm trying to come to the bottom of a myth, okay? And it's taken me 11 years to get to this point, and I still haven't got it. You see, I'm a meat eater as well. I devour meat like crazy, but have either of you guys ever tried a vegan sausage?
Yes.
Is it made of a real vegan or not?
I don't know. It was a plant-based meat. It tasted actually okay. Well, we had it. I had it in Europe. We were on tour in Europe, and one of the hotels had some, and I tried it, and I thought, well, hell, this ain't that bad.
Okay.
Chris does it all the time. I mean, this all Chris is. He does not eat meat.
Sean's trying to keep a straight face right now, so we'll keep that one humming for a little while. Believe me, we will. Look, when I was doing some of these interviews, we had to do some promoters and stuff, and one day I actually got to talk to a company called Johnson & Johnson. You know the products, right? And I knew this was coming up, so I got my receptionist to run down to the supermarket, pick me up a couple of bottles or a couple of products, so I could have some, yay, look, I've got a prop, you know what I mean? And I'm talking to this executive from Johnson & Johnson, and I pulled up a bottle of this oil stuff, and I held it up, and he's proud as punch, yep, that's one of our products. I said, it says baby oil. He goes, yep. I says, how many babies goes in to make a bottle? They haven't spoken to me now for 9 years.
Yeah. Well, their stock went down when P. Diddy went to jail. He was the main user of Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM by now. I think they need a sedative, either that or I can recommend a very good psychiatrist for them. They're getting there through it, though. They really, really are. Good morning, guys. Nice to have you on board. And I've got to say thanks for talking to us down here in the Antipodes. It's nice to have such a talented band. Now, your world domination, it doesn't happen literally, minute by minute, but, it does kind of happen door to door. Now, we were mentioning maybe doing a few tours and bits and pieces. Now, have you ever considered playing here in New Zealand?
We'd love to. One of the things that we just hadn't got to that part of the world yet is the airfare is just incredibly expensive. So unless you're really killing it on the revenue side, it gets very expensive quick to be down there. Plus, 20 hours on the plane?
if you're lucky.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying, that's certainly on our list to do. At this point, that's a nut we haven't cracked yet. But we love the New Zealand people, and we would love to come. It's just absolutely beautiful. I've had several friends come down there. So it's just incredible. One day we'll figure it out.
I get a lot of bands saying, oh, yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings. It's a beautiful country, right?
Yeah.
And, well, thank you for selling our country to the world. Really, it is. But you would really need to be able to come down have a look around, you know, and partake in a few bits and pieces. Have you ever heard of a place called Queenstown?
No.
Oh yeah.
You have?
Yes.
No, I'm not talking about Queensland. That's in Australia. That's the funny place where all the men wear strange dresses and drive fast in women's clothing. You know what I mean? But no, that's Queenstown, which went through an identity crisis once the Queen actually died. Now they were going to change it to Kingstown, and it didn't quite go with the dresses, so they kept it. They really did. But Queenstown is a little boutique city come town in the bottom of the west coast, down the bottom of the South Island, really. And it's a place where literally all the A-listers go to get away from the paparazzi. You know, it's a little hidden jewel where you get a lot of people like Tom Cruise and Kevin Costner and all of those people sort of hang out down there. And the problem with that is you don't want to run into me down there. Tim thinks
Why is that?
Well, I knew he was going to ask, Sean. I'll throw you off a bridge. Literally, we have a thing down there called bungee jumping. And, well, you're not Australian, so we'll attach the bungee. They don't know the story between New Zealand and Australia. No, okay, fair enough. New Zealand and Australia have we're you know, just neighbours, really, if you think about it. So we have this love-hate relationship. It's a rugby kind of thing, a rugby union kind of thing. It's much like you Americans and Canadians in ice hockey. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
One of those love-hate relationships. So we love our Australian cousins. And one day they'll actually win something.
Sure, they appreciate that.
Oh, they do. They love me over there. That's why I don't live there. It's that easy, really. Even though I've been many, many times living over there. In fact, used to live in Sydney over the North Shore. So, but I escaped before the government started deporting all of our New Zealanders. I think that's where your your president's got the idea, is from the Prime Minister in Australia, the deports. They call them the 501s over there, where they, if you've got a bus ticket that you haven't paid for, that's it, you're deported. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're probably a lot more stricter there than they are here in the U.S.
Oh, you'd be surprised. We've been hearing some really, really funny things about the U.S. just lately. So, I think you guys are on an even par right now. Really, I do. But, I don't know any peoples of any land that's ever happy with the government sitting or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, arguments either side there. Having said that, you get the best deals if you're in the city, I suppose. Tell me about in the city. This is one of the tracks. Now, I'm struggling here simply because in the city and blink of an eye, my two picks, and I can't, it's a toss-up. I can't pick which one I like the best. So we're going to start within the city. Tell me a little bit about this track.
In the City was on the Digital Soldiers record that we did with Ripper and Vinny. In the City was written about homeless people. And it was concern that I had about, you get so, unfortunately, we live in a world where people are so accustomed to seeing homeless people, they think it's okay. And it's not. It's really sad, and it still bothers me today. And we've been all over the world, and we've seen them in all the continents. And it's like, there just needs to be a better solution for people sitting under a bridge and poor women with kids that can't take care of all their kids and all these things. And that's what the song's about. Christian people should have more empathy for these people and try to do more to help them. I mean, everybody should, but hey, we live in a world where some people just don't care. And unfortunately for these folks, they need help. And we do care. And I'm thankful to share with Sean and Chris and JoJo. This is one of the reasons that drives this band, is our concern for other people and how they're living.
I absolutely love that. I really, really do. And over the last, I think, 20 years, I've watched the same scenario start to develop here in our country as well. I mean, seriously, 20 years ago, homeless people weren't homeless. We didn't have any. Now we seem to have an abundance of them, and I think it's a big downfall on our government and what they've done, causing it. Literally, I think they're the cause of it all the way through. So, joining us live is Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project, coming out of Texas. You're right here at Galaxy. Here's in the city. Gosh, it's getting hot in here. Really is. That's
It
unusual.
stopped raining.
All of a sudden, it's 22 degrees.
Yeah, and it stopped
Wow.
raining. The
And it
sun's
stopped
out.
raining.
Wow, flooding.
55 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay.
Oh. What is it? What's the temperature Fahrenheit?
55.
It's 101 in Houston.
Yeah, I believe you. I was talking to a guy in Virginia the other day. He was at 92 and he was dead set in the pool. Beer in one hand, woman in another, up to here in cold water. That's the way to go. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
But you guys in America at the moment haven't had a lot of forest fires this summer. Normally California's burning by now.
It's already burnt. There ain't nothing left to burn.
That's a good point. It is a good point. But I see turkeys on fire right now too. They're at 52 degrees.
Wow.
Amazing. We're heading to a country, 42 degrees is what we're looking at over the next couple of weeks. So believe me. And I could relate to the story about the homeless people. Believe me, where we're heading, we watch people on the streets literally sleeping on the footpaths, and you don't know whether they're dead or alive or just asleep, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the amount of people, yeah, I know, I see that. I'll just get that. I'm going to have to wrap it up shortly, okay? The device is telling me you've got X amount of minutes to go, so we're going to have to move.
Yes, I see. We just got a flag. You got 15
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah, it's because you did a meeting, not a normal how I would do it.
It's because I talk too much.
No, but
That's fine. No, we're good. We've been really enjoying this. Appreciate it.
Oh, nice, nice. My dog, I've got my old dog with me. She, they used to be twins, but we lost one a couple of years ago, and from that point onwards, the old girl won't leave me alone, no matter where the hell I go. Literally, she just sticks to me like glue. So, if you hear some scratching or slurping in the background, it's usually the dog. I'm not that lucky, I don't get to scratch that hard.
My dog comes. I've had to ban my dog from our rehearsal studio because the first thing she'll do is she'll run upstairs here in the studio and run over to the drums and get one of Sean's sticks. And she's a Doberman. She can chew them up in 30 seconds.
Yep.
oh, I love Dobermans.
Yep, believe me, I remember those days.
Red or black?
Black.
Yeah, I like the red ones too.
You
Yeah, I had a red one. She passed away, so we got a
Mm.
black one this time.
Yeah.
By the way, do you guys remember Darth Vader from Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember that lightsaber sword thing he's got?
Oh, that's me.
That's like this thing here, guys. It's Barbara and her wandy thing. You got to move really quickly, or you could remove an appendage the way she waves that thing around. So, if you see it in the movie and everything, I apologise. It's actually Barbara doing her job. Yeah.
So we'll
Wow,
go into the
she's
next.
doing great.
We'll go into the next song, won't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are going to go into the next song. Of course, it's my favourite, Blanca Banana.
No, we've only got 15 minutes.
Don't worry, we'll get there. All right.
We can always call back.
Gosh. Yes. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project coming out of Houston, and believe me, powerhouse band. Absolutely love the work they put in. I really do. Now, you guys have been around now since 2015, about 10 years. You've got a good tenure going on right now. So, anything going on for the summertime? Have you got any gigs on right now? Any festivals that you're looking at doing?
Yeah, we actually just turned down a tour. I can't say anything about it, but we chose, instead of going back out to Europe, we chose to stay in the U.S. and shoot this video in about 3 weeks. And then in about 12 weeks, we're going to have a show in Dubai. It hadn't been announced yet, so the venue, they're getting everything worked with the venue. And so we will go to Dubai. It's an interesting situation for us because the way I understand it, obviously, heavy metal is not a big part of the culture in Dubai, but there's a lot of expats, Americans, New Zealanders, Canadians that live there that they really support it. And so that's why we're going to Dubai.
Very cool. And believe me, we've been invited to that wonderful country as well to set up a couple of radio stations. So you never know, we might catch up and play you there as well. In the meantime, we are going to have to move along really quickly right now. So we're coming to what I would call the pinnacle, the absolute, well, I think it's, as I said, in the city, I'm tossing up, but I absolutely love Blink of an Eye. Now, this is it's a wonderful piece of work. I can't put any other word on it, really. Tell me all about this. How did you structure this track?
Well, Sean was a big part of helping me with the drums, which was really cool. We did some shows with Yngwie Malmsteen. And, listening to Yngwie every night, I felt like, well, we need a song kind of dramatic, So we got together and started playing the music together, and we wrote the music, and I wrote the lyrics. And so many times we're reminded, I've had some people that I love pass away lately, and it just reminds us that things happen so quick in a blink of an eye. And that's what the lyrics are about. And it's like, I hope that the message gets out to people that live your best day today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. I know people that went to sleep last night that didn't wake up this morning. And so it's very important to live that way. And I'm thankful for Sean and Chris and JoJo, because we look at the music the way that we don't know how long we can do this. And so we work hard every day to try to make this a better situation.
I absolutely love that. I really do. So moving on, joining us today is Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project. Here's Blink of an Eye, my fave.
All right. Woohoo!
I think it's music to drive fast to. And I like to drive fast. I'm sorry, I do.
Yeah.
Well, I go out, you see, we're in between three major cities, right, where we are, in a little milling town, and I know where they keep the keys to the fire brakes. So I like to go sideways. So I tune up the stereo and go for a drive. And that's usually how I decide on whether I'm going to do an interview with a band or not. You see, I don't get any ideas of who the band is or what the track's called. Barbara won't give me that. She just gives me a USB that I Bluetooth to my stereo. And I've got a kick-ass stereo in my car. And I go driving. Now, the thing is, too, I do it for two reasons. First reason is I don't get influenced by anybody else. I make the choices of whether or not I want to do the interview. And the other reason is, well, quite frankly, nobody else wants to drive with me.
Well, I'll send you some gas money. You keep driving, playing our music.
I will, believe me. Honestly, guys, I'm absolutely loving your work. I really am. Would love to continue this relationship that we've got going on, literally. So
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us. And believe me, we're in every English-speaking country in the world. How many countries?
162.
Okay, that's not bad. 162 countries right now. How many cities?
6,583.
6,583 cities around the world are tuned in. But what you need is the number at the end of this. It's the IP addresses from the machines that are tuned in listening to us on the radio. I'll give you that one as well at the end of it.
Yeah.
But we don't know whether it's one person or 10 people in a warehouse, or you know what I mean. It's just the IP from each computer. So, and I think you'll be impressed. I do.
Oh, well, I'm sure we will, you know. That's incredible.
Nice.
We've been doing this for 11 years, guys, and we first started out, literally Barbara and I were getting drunk on air. And we got told off for that. So they says, hey, listen, we liked the Skype idea back in those days. Keep the Skype idea, but lose the alcohol. And we came up with interviewing bands and thought, you know, we might get 10 people to listen. Well, you'll be surprised how many's listening today. You really will.
We appreciate that.
Definitely.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Tim and Sean from the band Engineered Society Project. And believe me, I'm becoming a very, very quick fan. Really, really am. I'm a fanboy. There you go. Having said that, guys, I've got to ask you, anything new in the can that you might be releasing in the near future? Maybe that we can do this again. Will you come back for another interview?
Yes, we would be glad to. And we do have a record coming out probably in about 2 months.
Brilliant, because we would love, love, love to be able to add your new work to the playlist as well. And believe me, we'd be very, very interested in catching up and going along the Engineered Society Project tour bus ride, because I think this one's going to go a long way. I really, really do. So congratulations. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to take a couple of pickies, have a little chat about how we're going to get you into a magazine and possibly more. Okay? But in the meantime, folks, thank you for joining us today. And believe me, we've got another interview coming up in a couple of days on Friday that you're going to love as well. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but join myself and Barbara for the breakfast show tomorrow morning between 5:30 in the morning and 10. Not to be missed, 110% indie artist, 120% the best in the world. Believe me, you're right here at Galaxy. Thank you for joining us, and from me, happy radio, everyone.